Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. We lead tonight with news dozens of jobs will be lost when Better Milk closes its Burnie plant next month, ending a 6-decade history in the region. New owners Bega are combining the operation with its Hobart facility after taking over the much-loved Tasmanian brand just a couple of months ago.
Pete, bottle of Better Milk, please.
The milk of choice for many Tasmanians, Better is leaving town. The Burnie plant closing down by mid-next month.
We're quite shattered. We've always tried hard to support the Better brand here in the city. Many of us have, so it is a sad day indeed.
After being taken over by Bega last year, the staunchly Tasmanian brand is restructuring.
It is our milk after all.
Sending Better and Pine Garner production to Lenna Valley, shedding jobs across the state.
This is a difficult day. There are employees who haven't been there for 30 years, so it is an enormous impact.
60 jobs will go, including 23 in Burnie, 24 between Launceston and Kings Meadows, and 10 in Hobart.
Human toll that it takes that isn't seen, and whilst 24 doesn't sound a lot, it is in our employment situation up this way.
And signalling the end of an era in the north.
Started by a group of old dairy farmers almost 70 years ago, and it's been very successful and supported a lot of families, obviously at the factory, but also all those dairy farmers out there.
Bega is blaming safety and environmental concerns of the ageing Burnie factory for what it says was a difficult decision to shut it down, saying the facility just isn't commercially viable.
Our view is that Bega should have invested money in the existing factory rather than closing the factory down.
State Growth, Bega and the union are assisting the affected employees to find new work. Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
The Liberals have unveiled their plan to protect renters amid a housing crisis that's seeing vacancies at record lows and prices at record highs. Promising to increase supply and put rentals within reach, Labor's claiming they're recycled ideas.
They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Well, the Liberals want to amend the Rental Tenancy Act.
We will allow renters to have their pets. That is fair and reasonable.
I moved out recently to rent. It's hard to take your pets with you. Not being able to have him in the home really does sting a bit.
Supported by the Tenants Union and animal advocates, it's part of a set of rental reforms promised by the Liberals, extending land tax exemptions for short stay owners who convert to long-term rentals, joining Labor in supporting build-to-rent schemes, and opening up the existing private rental incentive.
What this is ensuring that we put rentals within the reach of renters.
Branding them recycled policy ideas, Labor and Kingston residents on the scheme say the 2-year limit creates uncertainty.
This scheme, whilst a good band-aid and can help people in the short term, is not a long-term solution.
We just want to stay in our homes as long as possible and not have to move. It's just too stressful for us.
Labor says staffing their promised childcare centres will be child's play, promising to fund training and spark higher wages.
In exchange for government land and buildings and lease arrangements, we will require providers to pay above award wages.
I'm not sure why anyone would oppose an early childhood education and care policy that frees up workers.
With details of the possible deal scarce, the Liberals are calling it a hoax. Liberal pre-selection took place over the weekend, the full list of candidates to be announced tomorrow, with Labor already zeroing in on Jane Howlett.
I'm happy to tell Tasmanians that I'm not being investigated by the Integrity Commission. I wonder if Jane Howlett can do the same.
The fact that Labor Party have already resorted to personal attacks highlights the fact that they have no plans and no policies for Tasmania.
Integrity on the minds of the Greens too, fed up with election promises in past campaigns, with perceived conflicts of interest.
We've seen an inappropriate and wasteful use of public monies.
What members of Parliament should be doing is listening to their constituencies.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanians have only 2 more days to enrol or update their enrolment for the upcoming state election. Details are on the Tasmanian Electoral Commission website about how to enrol, check your enrolment or change your details. It can only be done up until 6 p.m. Wednesday. Voting on Saturday, March 23 is compulsory and you must number at least 7 boxes. The AFL season could be derailed for North Melbourne's Taran Thomas. The former North Launceston bomber was under investigation over fresh allegations of domestic violence. Stakeholders expect a lengthy suspension of more than half the season. Thomas's contract with the Kangaroos is expected to finish at the end of the year. Heart-stopping vision has emerged online of an extreme close call between a train and a truck in our northwest. The incident sparking outrage, Tasrail saying the video should serve as a wake-up call for road users.
Emerging out of the darkness like something from a horror movie. But this jump scare is all too real. A train approaching this level crossing is just metres from the road when the unthinkable happens. A semi-trailer carrying 2 containers rushes out in front of the locomotive.
Even as a non-driver watching that footage, and I think that anyone who has seen that video, your heart stops the moment you see just how close that is.
The nightmarish near miss happened in January and has drawn fury from the state's train operator. A situation that leaves Tasrail workers feeling helpless.
That driver has no time to respond. There is nothing that he or she can do. No swerving, no braking is going to make any difference there at all.
While last month's incident seems extreme, it's by no means uncommon. Tasrail says it's a hazard its drivers face every day.
In the last reporting year, we've had 39 incidents of this gravity occur and many other occurrences of near misses where the driver's gone, "Ooh, if something had been slightly different in that moment, I could have not been going home to my family."
While the matter is being investigated, charges are yet to be laid. Police reminding Tasmanians it's up to drivers and pedestrians to ensure it's safe to cross, to ensure everyone gets home safely. Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
TAFE has unveiled its latest training product to boost the skills of the state's future metal workers. A computer simulator is now online, helping students get comfortable with machines they'll eventually have to operate.
It's an industry where moulding is critical both on and off-site. Metalwork is a complex process with machines that can be difficult to operate. TAFE students now have the means to help get them up to speed.
We need to keep abreast and up to date with the industry.
It's good to have something to step into using a machine.
Their Derwent Park camp is now home to a new simulator. Using the latest technology, it allows students to get a feel of machines they'll eventually work with.
Simulate an actual machine program on this simulator in a safe environment, and we won't break anything.
This simulation is a robo-drill, which needs to be accurately operated when working with metal. Teachers say it eases the nerves of students, helping them learn what to do when things go wrong.
In a machine, you can break the tools. In this environment, we can simulate that, and quickly too.
Purchased with support from the Tasmanian Minerals Manufacturing and Energy Council, the simulator is used across the industry. As the demand for skilled workers grows, what's used to teach students is also under scrutiny.
We've listened, we've understood, and as you can see here today, we've got a great piece of machinery that we'll be able to work with and support our apprentices with.
Yeah, it's really good to have technology that we can actually use in the workplace.
John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian businesses have learned how they can grab a slice of the Orcus pie at an event in Hobart this morning. Hosted by the Orcus Forum, defence industry leaders used the function to brief local operators on the work which will become available. Despite concerns about the policy, organisers say the $300 billion project offers opportunities beyond submarine construction.
Tasmanian industry can benefit across the board. We're talking everything from cybersecurity right through to robotics, welding and activities like that.
The roadshow will also visit Launceston, Burnie and Devonport this week. Well, 9 Tasmanian conservation groups are joining forces to oppose the Liberal Party's proposed changes to planning laws. They say development assessment panels will strip the rights of local communities to have their say about projects in reserve activity areas and national parks.
Tasmanian conservation groups are really concerned that there are going to be developments without proper scrutiny and without the right to appeal.
The Rockcliffe government hasn't explained clearly why they're coming up with this new fast-track process for developments in national parks, but we guess it's to do with tourism.
Parks Minister Nick Dargan says the proposal takes the politics out of planning, with significant opportunities for community consultation during the process. One of the nation's leading researchers on Parkinson's disease has shared her expertise at a major conference in Hobart. Researchers, clinicians and community groups hearing some of the latest research developments when it comes to the debilitating disease. Former Scientist of the Year Glenda Halliday giving multiple presentations discussing the cause, new concepts for treatment and potential cures. The symposium is hoping to attract 500 people diagnosed with Parkinson's and some without to join a research registry. The disease remains the fastest growing neurological disorder in the world. Tasmanians are being encouraged to hold an awkward conversation with loved ones about their end-of-life wishes. With an ageing population, Palliative Care Tasmania is taking drastic action to ensure more people have a plan in place.
It's a conversation many put off, but for Libby Rothbauer, discussing her end-of-life wishes and her lung condition has brought her and her family peace.
I've seen it so many times when people haven't had the conversation, and I've seen and sat with families having to make those really tough decisions because they haven't asked what's important. And I didn't want to be in that position.
It's a trend that Palliative Care Tasmania is hoping to change, with the campaign set to hit our screens, encouraging people with the terminal illness to share their requests and wishes regarding their death, and to lodge an advanced care directive so individual values, beliefs and treatment preferences are respected.
It minimises stress, it minimises conflict, and it puts, things in place so you can ensure that you have a good death.
In an effort to raise awareness and diminish the stigma.
We know that 75% of people don't want to talk about death and dying. We know that less than 500 people have an advanced care directive. We know that we have an ageing population.
For Libby, it's made a heartbreaking situation more comfortable. She's now encouraging others to do the same.
And now I just live. I live every day to its fullest, and I can't be happier. And so when I do leave this planet, I haven't got a worry in the world.
So more Tasmanians can die with dignity. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
Musicians from across the world will gather on stage in Moona for the SHTY Sessions, part of this year's Mona Foma Festival lineup. The performance sees Hindustani sounds blend with folk musicians and Australian performers, creating a truly unique show.
What we tried to do with that piece was bring the elements of Rajasthan, of the folk tradition together, and then add all the other elements and see, find one voice.
3 SHTY Sessions will go ahead from Wednesday to Friday.
After a huge Sunday from Tasmania's batsmen, it's a draw in the Sheffield Shield. The Tigers only managing to take 2 wickets as Western Australia also struggled to make ground despite centuries from Cameron Bancroft and Cameron Green.
We thought we could win the game in the first session there if he busts through with a new ball, but we've still got 2 more home games here and confident we can get a win out of there and try and play in a Shield final.
The men will be back at Blunston on Saturday to watch the women go for a 3-peat in the WNCL. The Tassie Tridents are off to a good start of the Bowls Premier League in Moama. The measuring tape helping rocket them to the lead over Adelaide this afternoon. Tonight sitting 3rd in the standings with 2 wins from their first 3 rounds.
Good evening. Hope you had a great weekend. Hobart cooled right down today, just 19. Launceston, the state's warmest, 29 degrees. Devonport, 25 and Burnie, 23. Below average temperatures, as you'd expect, over the east and southeast with those numbers. Flinders Island and Bushy Park, 25. Low Head and Friendly Beaches, a top of 24 today. St Helens Grove and Strawn, 22. King Island and Lyoweeney, 21. The cloud did increase over the northeast and north after early cloud pushed away from the south during the day. Further north, the tropics and eastern New South Wales still has heavy cover. A mid-level band sits over southern WA. Tomorrow we have a high to our southeast with an area of low pressure sitting over northern climates. The wind's lighter and variable over the west as east and nor'east winds up to 25 knots pick up over northern waters. Forecast for tomorrow: Hobart a cloudy day, 25 the top, 25 for Adventure Bay, a shower developing for Tarraleah, 22 the maximum. Launceston 26 with a shower or two, a late shower for Devonport 23 and for Bridport 25 degrees the maximum. Burnie a late shower and 21 degrees, 23 the high for Strawn. Marrawar partly cloudy, 24 the maximum. St Helens tomorrow 23, 23 for Swansea and partly cloudy, a shower developing on Flinders Island, 24 degrees. Showers over the north and east on Wednesday, extending statewide for a time in the afternoon. Mainly fine in Hobart, 29. A warm day on Thursday and hot over the southeast and east. Hobart 33, Swansea 32 and Launceston 30. And on Friday a more than 30% drop in temperatures as a few showers develop, mainly over the west and northeast. Further north and 39 in Perth tomorrow, cloudy and 35 in Adelaide, partly cloudy in Melbourne. Showers for Canberra, Sydney, Brisbane and Darwin. Partly cloudy, 16 in Hobart at the moment, 22 currently in Launceston, 21 in Devonport. A bit of hot weather coming in, but also plenty of humidity and the chance of some showers.
Big week weather-wise. Thank you, Murph. And that is all we have time for this evening. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.